Good evening, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Dean Okai, and we are going to be talking to him about a number of things about collaboration, networking, the Sable Ascent,
Fable coin.
yeah, Sable
Fable
Coin,
coin.
and also the ad pack. So, and then we're going to be talking also, right from the beginning, Dean, I want to say to you that we're going to talk about the business that, put my son into some serious suits. Serious suits. My man got blessings and praises everywhere he went for interview, got every single thing that he wanted. So, it was due to what you have done for the community, what you do as a man. And I really, really, really am blessed to know you as a
Yep,
person.
indeed.
It's been wonderful knowing you in the short time that we've known each other. It's like brand new. So what I'm going to say to people is let's just go through a little bit of the details of this man. He's a man, a father, a business owner, community activist, CEO of the Solutions Room, CEO of Sable's Ascent.
Fable ascent.
No, no, that one's not mine. I take no ownership for the coin. That's my brother, Daryl Speak.
Okay,
Ah,
so working with.
I'm just his representative.
Okay, understood.
brilliant.
Founder, yeah, the founder of AdPack. Yep. And well, truly an orator of exceptional value and skill. So, and don't forget, head cook and bottle washer. That's my man. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
so welcome, Dean.
Welcome, Dean. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being
Thank
with us
you.
and sharing some of your nuggets with all of us here in Black Business Recommendation. I'm just going to say hi to everybody that's joining us this evening. Good evening, everybody. I hope you all are well, keeping safe in these times. As I said, you'll be able to ask Dean or put some questions to Dean a little bit later on. So if you do have any questions as we're going along, I will, of course, put them to Dean if he's okay, if you're okay with that. Okay, so again, welcome and thank you.
Okay. I think the first thing is first, Dean, as they would say in the football terraces, who are you? Who are you, Dean? In your own words.
Whatever I am moved by, I will get involved with. And I think that's where AdPack came from. I love people and I love face-to-face relationships. And there's a point when I wanted to engage my problem-solving skills from business into community solutions. And I realized very quickly that I was going to get overwhelmed by whatever I took on board. So right now, I'm overwhelmed every single day. And in AdPack, we do have a team of 14. So I'm now passing off all of the concerns, all of the invitations to work with people to people within the team. I'm not a micromanager. The first thing I do is identify a talent, and then I sift them out spiritually. My nose for spirits is like Bisco.
Yeah.
There's no hiding place for me. I don't care what you wear or what you say. It's about what is in your chest. And funny people are very insecure around me and they don't want to be around me. And I'm God blessed for that. The ancestors protect me. For whatever reason that is, I don't care. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm blessed. I work with people of a similar ilk and we work fluidly. There's no ask from me, there's no ask from them. And we know that at some point it's going to benefit both of us and it's going to be based on reciprocity, which is a universal law. So I'm very blessed at this juncture of my life to be surrounded by people that I love, people that I trust, and people that I can rely on to do what they say and to do what they demonstrate.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you now, you first introduced the Solutions Room, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, my view from the Solutions Room was a very bold statement. And, it says what it says on the tin, the Solutions Room. The first thing you said to me was, it's not a talk shop. It's an action shop. It's to do the right thing. So can you please explain that to people? Because there were certain facets, in the Solution Room which dictated who was there and who and how it operated. And when I thought about ADPAC, I thought in the same kind of lineage. So can you explain to people what the solution room is, please?
Well, I'll make a very simple distinction between the solution room and what ADPAC is. The solution room is a think tank, which is largely where, based on many discussions and many intentions and initiatives, we put things into place. So one of those and the practical implementation was a Thursday Club, where we said face-to-face is the new social networking, and it brought people together. And you can see up to 200 people come out in the snow to be around each other and talk about economics, which is beautiful. Not a dance, not a movie premiere, but economics or politics or Black love or whatever it is that exclusively benefits African diaspora people. Now, based on all of the relationships that were formed and the many conversations that were had within the solution room, ADPAC is the practical implementation of that, where we deliver policy, where we say, now we have an initiative to deliver our educational curriculum in our own building. And Kay Johnston is our National Director for Education. Or Yvonne Witter is our National Director for Trade and Industry. So that by pulling in all of our entrepreneurs and all of our service providers around entrepreneurialism, now we want to create trade missions to Ghana, which is a case study what we create out there. And why Ghana? Because there's no import or export tariffs. Ghana has replaced Europe, because Europe is gone. So now there are no export or import tariffs between Ghana and Great Britain. So what do we want to do? We want to create a manufacturing district in Ghana, which then gives local employment, which creates business opportunities from this side of the pond.
Of course.
Ghana's also a macro economy where you might pay somebody £400 to £500 a week here. You are paying a middle class income £400 in Ghana. So it is win, win, win. So we create the relationships on the ground, and ADPAC's also been given the brief to create the Ghanaian Chambers of Commerce. So very quickly, we're establishing relationships that are very powerful.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Dean, just for our viewers that may not know what ADPAC stands for, can you tell us shortly what ADPAC stands for, please, so that our audience know?
It's the African Diaspora Political Action Committee. And, you know, we are so divided as a people. And when speaking about this, I'll always revert to the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, where in the city of Babel, men were building a tower to heaven. And when they got so close to the secret, God boxed away the tower, as the story goes, scattered men and gave them different languages. This is where we are with our boat stops internationally. Now, one thing that is factual is that we're all African diasporans. And it just erases that divide between Africans and Caribbeans and different Africans, because my mission was to find our common denominator.
Of course.
So what we can agree is that we are 1.5 African diasporans globally, which is a very powerful marketplace. And if you think that we are 54 million in North America, 130 million in South America, 13 million in Europe, 1.3 billion on the continent of Africa, 2.5 million in Asia, 243,000, which is 3,000 less than the Yiddishers in the United Kingdom, and 11.6 million in the Caribbean. If we understand that that is a marketplace for us to be working with, and we now start to form corporate boards based on sweat equity of expertise, which means you can start a business with zero money down and the intellectual capital and experience of highly experienced people.
Yeah.
And with that thinking, we put together an initiative called Afritech, which is to build out an African operating system for mobile and PCs. So Huawei in the Chinese had absolute clarity about building out their own mobile device and their own operating system.
Yeah.
Because it provides economic and communication security, because they don't have to have any Western apps on there if they so choose. Now, all economists of note have forecast that Africa is going to be half the planet by 2050, which is 30 years time, and they're going to be under 25. So in creating our own operating system today, based on blockchain technology, which will circumvent all the learning curves that Europeans and Western countries have gone through, we create sustainable employment for all of those young men and women, and establishing tech universities that train them in exactly what they need to become those global business leaders for a marketplace of 1.5 billion African diasporans.
Yeah.
So they create the apps. They become the Mark Zuckerbergs. They become the Bill Gates.
Of course.
But
So,
how,
go ahead.
How do you
Yeah.
how do you quantify sort of getting people to work collaboratively to reach that goal? Because it's all about, as you rightly say, you identify what are the issues and you go for that goal to ensure that people can work together. How do you see, what are the problems for collaboration that you've seen so far that you've had to deal with? Because I know you do collaborate on a very wide scale.
Yeah. So the problem with collaboration is based on the man or the woman. It's not them. Unfortunately, this one is you. Look in the mirror. And it was me. So when I started the Solution Room, I have been a lone wolf for 41 years. And I can run very quickly by myself. And it makes you very arrogant, very ignorant to people's feelings, to their expertise, to their intellectual capital. And I just run shotgun. And everybody involved in that process very early on let me know, no, Okai Snr, that's not cricket.
Yeah.
So I had to deal with me. Number one, I can talk for Britain and the United States and the entire diaspora.
When you talk things,
I'm not rediscovering America for you.
But the thing is that when you talk, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and it inspires people to get up and actually do something. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is what we, the mere fact that you just mentioned all those numbers there as to who we are globally. Okay. People, we've been just put into different boxes. Yes, we're going to break you all down. Okay. So that you all think you're separate.
And divide you.
Divide you. Okay. And it's realizing actually that's not the case. And we have, global wealth there that we just need to come back together again, tap into, to get to where we need to get to.
Take care of our own. Take care of our own. It's important because I also see that when you do the collaboration, your skill at networking, that is something that, can you please give us a little a heads up as to how you look at networking and collaboration? Because this is a learning tool for many people. Because I think one person, just this moment, one person, I remember Andrew Green, I asked him, I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna work on my own. I'm gonna own just for me and so on. And he said, Huw, let me tell you something. Business, you're not alone. You can't work alone. Yeah. You have to work with other people. And it stopped me dead in my tracks. And I'll never forget those words. So how do you quantify the networking and the collaboration? How can you teach
bring
others?
Everybody to pull in the
bring us in, my man. Bring us in
direction. Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because I know the same Andrew Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, my intention from the beginning is always as a recruitment scout in identifying various expertise. And if I don't know how I'm going to utilize them today, what I do know is that expertise is going to be beneficial to my collective
Yeah.
that I have.
Mm.
I share my network with my network on a daily basis, and I solve problems on a daily basis. So the compound effect of that is that you are known for solving problems and connecting people, and people pass that on, and you meet more
Right.
people of a similar ilk.
Mm.
It's not about numbers, it's about quality,
Yeah.
and it's about the intention of those people.
Yeah.
So as a Pan-Africanist, everybody knows that if you involve in anybody else, don't involve me unless it's strictly commercial. And I have no bones within that, because I've worked with everybody. I work with Asians, Jews, Europeans on a
Yeah.
daily basis based on parity, because I can tell any of them to go look their mother and father and walk in the other direction and be cool about it. You're not gonna buy
Yeah.
me.
Keeping it real, keeping it real, of course. Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's the beauty about you, because you know, in terms of when I've spoken to you, on the numerous occasions I've spoken to you, you have been straightforward and direct. There was no bleaching out this conversation. It was directly, this is what you need to look at, and so on. And I have learned a lot from you, because when people communicate and they don't communicate with the truth and the directive in which someone can pick up and say, okay, I can move with that. Whether I want it or not, it is there, it's for my decision to make. But you put the
Absolutely.
information out there for me to take on board, which is a useful thing for people to actually communicate, you know, rather than wishy-washy and, you know, allow yourself to have different reasons or different arguments. Put it straight out there, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's I hear that, Dean. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of you make sure that you start from quality, that the person that you're dealing with is true. You know what I mean? They're talking straight from the heart and had that same passion, to move in the same direction. Yeah. The common goal. Okay. Yeah. So, in a way, bringing it back to maybe the business side, for anybody that's watching, thinking, actually, do you know what? How I don't necessarily like that person down the road, but they have something, or the way they work is something that I need in my business. How would you, as a business person, say to them, okay, this is how I would go? Some nuggets of information there, just to set our people on their way.
So I did speak about the personal journey, and as a man, I respect myself, so I convey respect. And when we talk about, like, look, it's not anybody's fault if my spirit doesn't take to them. I have no right to mistreat them as a man or woman. I'm aware that my spirit doesn't take to them. And that is my ancestors saying, this isn't the door to push on. I'm neither a converter of man nor woman, and I don't push on closed doors. I merely push on open doors for those of a similar ilk whom I desire to work with. And if my spirit niggles, I bounce, because I don't have to do anything. Now, if it comes to somebody of another race, my spirit still has to resonate with them, irrespective of their ethnicity. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. Although African diaspora people aren't capable of racism, we are all prejudiced.
Yeah.
And me more than most, as everybody knows. I don't like nobody.
No, let's finish off here then. We're done. We're done. We're finished.
Unless I like you. And, you know, there are delivery partners that I work with, even in terms of the shoes that you bought and some clothes that you've bought. I like and get on with those people, be they Jewish, be they Indian, be they Bangladesh, be they Pakistani, be they Greek, be they Turkish. I get on with them. Otherwise, it is not, you are not capable of extrapolating a pound note out of me. Because if you don't treat me with respect, which is a minimum, I will spend my money elsewhere. Now, I'm a pragmatist when it comes to business. Where I stripped away all support systems from my life, in that I don't have a doctor, a dentist, no credits, whatever they are, I don't have a clue because I don't receive them. I'm by myself. I live on something called zombie protocols, which means it behooves me to educate myself on a daily basis and surround myself with those who know the direction to the promised land. And as I do that, I get closer to the destination. I become more skilled at negotiating. I become more skilled at brokering relationships, because I know within my chest, I don't have any catch net. I don't have any retirement plan other than my ambitions for whatever entities I'm setting up right now. And this is the greatest time to set up a business, incident.
Right.
Why?
Excellent. Yes.
Rather than why?
Why?
Yeah.
When you see quantitative easing, it means interest rates are close to zero. Money is free. You're not going to pay back a dime for 12 months. Set up today. Go set up your PayPal. Put it on social media and start selling from social media. Grow from social media to Shopify. If it's a service, set up all your automated backing. Go into YouTube, look at the many lessons there are to automate what it is the key people in your industry are doing, and adopt it immediately. Do not fight it, do not resist it. And then go get the money, which is virtually free.
Right.
It is virtually free right now. So if you're a saver, it's a problem. You could go and get a 50 grand loan, a bounce back loan. You could buy 10 grand in gold, which is going to appreciate beyond the interest of your loan, and then set yourself up and also tidy up all of your admin, where we can call on our sisters like Dana Byfield, who will introduce you to the money management people to set up your trust and your will and all of the things from that end, which is my exact intention when all of the things that I've applied for come through. And they will come through because I've willed it to be so.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, that
excellent.
That's one of the beautiful things. I would say now that I'm going to come right back to day one and say there's a place in Camden that has men's clothes, and I would like someone who actually is the owner to talk about that and where it is, because I don't want to just say, hi, Dean, what you do and whatever. I want people to know where to go. Because when I want a suit, when my son wants a suit, my son says, Dad, I got interviewed. I say, you know where to go. I don't want to hear it. Take some money, go to the man and talk to him.
And not only that, you are a businessman. You have your own business. So who better? You can impart so many nuggets, you know what I mean, to people that want to start. I mean, you've given them, if that's not an incentive, telling them what is going on now and this is the best time to start business, then I don't know what that is. Also, you can also tell them how they can, take the next step with their business as well. So over to you.
Over to you, Camden. Talk to me.
Absolutely. So we are going to open from next Thursday. Our lease is up until August, and then we'll be going into our next incarnation. So my brother Greg will be the face of that business. I'm going to jump into a behind the scenes role. And that one is very much like QVC, where he's doing a lot of styling, and you'll have a lot of video content, and then they can go directly to the website and buy. But Suits Direct currently, as of next Thursday from 10 a.m. will be open. And then we are closing on the 10th of August because our lease is up. 10 years in business, and I am not renewing the lease. We will go into our next incarnation. 10 years on the high street, yeah.
So let me give you the vital information. People, listen up. 57 Camden High Road. It's NW17JL. Get there quick before the man closes and turn into something online, yeah? Because I'll tell you what, on a personal note, I went there and, to get suited and booted, and Dean just looked at me and said, yeah, they're wide shoes. You need a size 11. I went, uh-oh, I'm home, right?
A man who knows his
craft. Man who knows his craft and knows his clients. And the treatment I got, I walked out of there, I was floating outside. And I know my son had the same feeling, and I've recommended to many people to go. So please, audience, please, Suits Direct, 57 Camden High Street, yeah, NW1 7JL. Go before the man closed down those doors. They'll still be open another way, but got to do that.
Yeah. So any nuggets in regards to the business on that side, Dean, that you could share with anyone? Any of the
Absolutely. Don't suffer for business. Look, I could have been in my shop every day if people were shopping, but they're not. So it didn't make any sense for me to be there. I have no respect of British law whatsoever, or what governments or politicians who are the most protected men in Britain and can still manage to catch coronavirus, walking around not taking medical expert advice. So if you take advice from fools, you're a fool.
What is that?
I don't get embroiled. So I know that the 8 hours a day that I have spent at the table day in, day out from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. have been spent in setting up other income streams, working on AdPack and solutions for us. And even in this short 10 weeks, having hundreds of meetings with highly qualified people globally around different areas of expertise to work on our behalf. So there's no sacrifice in that, because there are still many business initiatives that come out of that fall down for me.
Yeah.
Right.
The world is abundance, and we live in a culture of fear. And that culture is sold to us, is sold to you by family who believe that you're not going to be able to eat. How can you do this thing? I've never seen anybody do it. It's because you've never seen me do it, baby. And you've never seen me do it because I've never done it. But I tell you, this much is possible. Absolutely. Because I know us. And I only surround myself with me. If you see me in a room, you are looking at me. So when people say, is this us in this room? I say, baby, if you see me, there's nobody else involved. Because I don't give a damn about anybody else. And even on LinkedIn, I have 5,500 African diasporan experts in every single area of business known to man.
So if anybody, sorry, Dean. So if anybody, any of our, the businesses that are listening in tonight would like to tap into or network with any of those, AdPack or solutions, how would they be able to do so? Especially if they do think, oh, actually, I can touch base with, I've got something in mind that I could put forward.
So if you're a service provider for us, or even curious about the entity and organization, go to adpac.net, adpac.net. You can email us at info@adpac.net.
Yeah.
If they're looking for me, it's at Dean Okai, Okai, SNR, Dean Okai Senior, at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all of the above.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we do have a few questions that have been coming in. I don't know if you don't
mind
answering
answering?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right. So we have from one of our members, Mr. Dean, believe it or not. Does AfriTech extend or eventually extend to telecommunication network ownership?
Absolutely. So what we are seeking to establish now through our delivery partner in Ghana, King Neniteta, is to lay down the foundations of blockchain technology. Now, we've got a team in terms of the operating system headed up by Marcia Brock, who runs All Boys Rock, and Paula Watson, who is a software MBA. We are now recruiting for those programmers and coders internationally to create that. But as we know, it's a very ancestral world now. So that operating system is for the telecommunications industry. And the whole point of us creating an African diasporan operating system is to ring fence our telecommunications so that we have communication security, because currently we have to use everybody else's applications. And we know that they read that, and there is an ancestral relationship with the alphabet soup, and all intelligence agencies are privy to whatever we say.
Yeah.
Now, China had absolute clarity, as if they'd been shot in the head with a diamond bullet with Huawei, to set up their own operating system so that they could keep everybody else out.
Yeah.
Now, they don't publish how much of their currency they print, and they don't allow anybody to infiltrate their communication systems. It doesn't mean just because African governments are there that they have the answers. There is no government on God's green earth that generates income outside of taxation, other than forfeiture of funds, which Europeans do with us in the SWIFT banking system, which is why we have Sabre-Cent currency. So we have freedom of African money movement, and we are not privy to the demands or proclivities of European bankers. And that means that our money can't be frozen and it can't be confiscated without any kind of accountability. So the whole point of building out this system for the entire African diaspora is to create economic and monetary security for us.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. But that just brings us straight on to stablecoin. Ascent, can you explain that a little bit more for us in terms of what that is and where we're going to be going with that?
The framework for that.
The framework for it,
So I'll put the links up in the commentary. Sabre-Cent currency, unlike many cryptocurrencies, isn't an investment commodity. It is a currency for us, which is no different from the dollar, the pound, the yen, or any other currency. Now, the beauty of this is anybody can adopt the wallet by downloading it from the Play Store for free. And then you put your money in and you send it where you like. Now, this is a blue ocean strategy where this places us, because there's no more need for Western Union. We don't ask ourselves, what is the greatest import for Africa?
The money.
Remittances. Absolutely. And Sabre-Cent coin is a remittance delivery partner, which is listed on the Nigerian exchange and the Jamaican exchange.
Right.
And will be listing on all African exchanges and Caribbean exchanges. So if we adopt it in the West, we know that the exponential adoption will take place in the Caribbean and Africa. Based on the remittances. God bless, which makes it convenient and wipes out those extra premium charges they like to charge us to Africa and the Caribbean. When they don't charge us £10 to send the money to the United States or Australia.
So,
done.
Sorry, so let me just get that straight, just for my own understanding. So at the moment now, you know, if I wanted to send money back home, yes, I would either use one of, you know, Western Union,
one of those,
or one of those. Okay. Are you saying then that this is an alternative to that, that we can, for ourselves, have?
Clarity. That's baked. So once we transfer our money to our wallet, and we have created our own economic ecosystem. The wallet acts as a bank. The currency acts as a central banking system for the entire African diaspora. Now, if I wanted to purchase a house, could I purchase a house through the coin? Absolutely. And it has an escrow facility. So I'm not just sending my money willy-nilly. I'm not going to send you half a ticket willy-nilly. It will sit in escrow because it's on the blockchain, and we sign off on both ends. I take receipt of the deeds, knowing that I'm purchasing this property once, and now you take receipt of the proceeds. This is what we have been waiting for. This is our central banking system, and the money manipulators can't purchase it how they would like to dump it on the open market and devalue it, because we think as thieves in risk assessment.
So you When is the launch? Has it launched? You saying you can,
15th of June, and anybody can purchase as much as they
sorry,
like.
can you repeat that, please? Sorry.
The 15th of June.
Of
Right.
June. Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So anyone can purchase it. So you will put the link onto the group so that people can.
Absolutely.
So, so to get that right, you have to, from the 15th of June, if people are interested,
Put the money
then
in your
they
wallet.
would be able to sign up from
Download the wallet.
Download the app, and then they can start using that to send any money or do anything they need to do. That's brilliant.
Next day. Absolutely.
That's brilliant.
That is fantastic, because once we're able to access that, and as you said, it will grow exponentially, because right now we're looking at, we can send a little bit of change to Auntie in the West Indies, and then we can send to anywhere around the world, because it is there, and we need something like that. And to a certain degree, we're talking about the ability to send money and not pay out all that amount that we normally pay to. So is there a fee? How much is there a fee, or is it straight?
It's a nominal fee. It's a very nominal fee. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a macro percentage.
Okay.
Excellent. That's really
But
good.
what you can imagine is that the volume is how they stay sustainable.
Yeah.
So AdPac as an institution is adopting the coin, because we will not open a bank account. We'll just use the coin. And then we live in a sovereign space.
Yes.
And since we encourage us to act as African sovereigns, that's exactly what we will demonstrate from the beginning. So we're not going to open a British bank, a US bank, or any other bank. We're going to utilize the coin. All of the members will be able to utilize the wallet. And then we will take subscription payments, which it has a subscription ability within the coin, and we're a go.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm sorry.
No, you
a
go
few
ahead.
more questions. Right, for me, this is a very large educational situation, because that is one of the key elements, because if people don't know, they don't understand, and they haven't been educated to that degree, that we can actually say, okay, this is what we do. We're using our wallet to buy and service our needs. If we don't start doing the educational process, how have you been able to do that? Have you been able to do that yet, or still going? Ongoing, of course.
COVID-19 protocols, God bless. However, we will be shooting in the UK a frequently asked questions about the coin.
Yeah.
And we'll also be shooting with a number of influencers videos which give an education about the coin. And irrespective of what industry people are in, they will be able to utilize the coin in ways that they've never been able to utilize a British bank. And one thing I will say, without any judgment, is that the Kennedys went from bootlegging to legitimate business and made the conversion. We should enable our young men to do exactly the same.
Yeah, indeed.
With no judgment. And what we will be doing is creating a set of educational seminars to show exactly how to do that.
Okay.
Because we should be able to establish the same legitimate economies as everybody else. I'm a huge fan of Peaky Blinders. I watch every single episode, and their business was established in blood. And then they became legitimate, and the, not the oldest brother, because his older brother, whom I call Fredo, after Mr. Corleone, who was a little bit simpler and older. But the smartest brother became a politician after all their blood, guts, and illegitimate business.
Yeah.
And they solidified their turf accountants in legitimacy. I don't have that judgment of our young men. And I believe that we should legitimize everything we do and evolve into a common community and evolve our practice, which has been bestial, and become citizens within the context of a virtuous application in our community.
Yeah, excellent.
That may have seemed like Venusian, for some of the gentlemen listening, but we'll break it down and make it common
We'll break
English
it.
for
Exactly.
everybody.
Well, I've got a couple more questions for you, so stay with me, Dean. Okay. So one of the questions coming in is that does ADPAC provide economic, financial, educational resources that can be used for young people?
Absolutely. So we have an overarching initiative which is called the Schools to Industry Pipeline.
Yeah. Okay.
Kay Johnston has just come on as our head of education, our national head of education.
Yeah.
And now we're aligning all of the grassroots organizations who are youth engagement practitioners, African diaspora youth engagement practitioners, to work with the educational department so that we create that wraparound care that provides the, what do we call it? The public health approach. And what that means in lay person speak is that our children can't slip through the cracks because they will be caught at every juncture by any particular agency. So when you see organizations like the Black Child Agenda or taking positive steps that advocate for our children, our role is to go out and identify the large sums of money and then bring it to them so that they can train the facilitators. So it no longer comes down to individuals. We want them to have robust organizations where they're providing hundreds of them. So the minute your child is excluded from a European educational facility, you can be there with an advocate.
Yeah, bring them through.
Ultimately, what we are planning to do is purchase commercial freeholds and convert them into schools with the Diamond Enterprise curriculum so that we can execute our own educational curriculum. And what we would do is interweave rites of passage with that so that our young people universally adopt rites of passage and they have a high cultural self-esteem. So irrespective of racism or anybody else's intentions, they have a high cultural self-esteem, which is what we desire for our children. You won't break us anymore.
Yeah, that is brilliant. So that, you know, that's great to know that if it doesn't work out for any of our children within
there is something for them to fall back onto,
and they won't fall through.
And even to the point where what you're actually saying is that some parents might say, you know what, forget the other school. We're going to ADPAC that is providing us with what we need and what is relevant to us, to our children, our education. Yeah. So you might find that, you know, as you purchase the land to have the school, it may no longer be your second choice as a parent, maybe the first choice. And, you know, if you remember the school in Tottenham, where all the kids were literally 95% of the kids were on very high grades. And, you know, I don't know what happened to it, but it was a sign of the times where the parents all loved what the head teacher was doing, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore. I don't think it's there. So there's lots of directions that I can see you going, and I'm really pleased to hear that. Yeah. You know, as much support we can give at our community, the better. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
so I will just say very quickly, ADPAC isn't a grassroots organization, and people wouldn't be going to an ADPAC school. Our role is to effectively coordinate the grassroots organizations and based on our national leadership, acquire all of the resources that they need and then distribute those resources. We don't need Europeans to babysit our resources anymore. And what happens is you get organizations like Red Thread, who might come and take 2.5 million and may distribute 750,000 out amongst grassroots organizations. As they trickle that money, those grassroots organizations aren't able to create sustainable businesses. So through introducing CRM technology, which is 21st century Garveyism, we want to connect all of those grassroots organizations to be able to collaborate on projects. So you might have hundreds of projects with thousands of personnel taking place concurrently across education, economics, and so forth. Now, when it comes down to education, and I know you work within schools, so you know the system inside out as an administrator as well. What we would be doing is having all of our agencies. So you would have a Mentivity who supply mentors to schools. You would have a Taking Positive Steps and Black Child Agenda who are advocates. And immediately as any member flags a question, that would be responded to by a regional chair, which are in each of the boroughs where we have stronghold. So that could be Croydon, Southwark, Lambeth, Enfield, Haringey, Hackney, any of the boroughs we have strongholds. And then Birmingham, Manchester, Leicester, Leeds, you understand?
Yeah. So that was going to be my next question, actually. Where are you, in terms of this initiative, where is it nationally? Is it just London or is it national?
Yeah. So we've got our regional chairs in Manchester, Birmingham, Luton, Leeds, and we are still identifying regional leaders for other chapters.
Brilliant. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, all this information our audience will love to know. And if we can get that information from you, we'll certainly put it up on the group.
We'll disseminate it because everybody needs to know.
Everybody will need to.
And we will support you as much as we can.
That information.
Yeah, that'd be great. Have you got any other questions?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. They're coming in, Dean. They're coming in. Okay. All right. Right. Collaboration is the way forward. That's correct. Right. Okay. Does the person they are sending money to also have to have the app coming back to the Sable Estate?
Yes.
Okay.
But because it's
just like having PayPal. Only PayPal have an algorithm sometimes there where they will stop you. This is created as a Pan-African currency specifically for us. And we do understand that there are also little games involved in their AI, as I experienced very recently with a pay-per-view broadcast.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. So I hope that answers your question, guys. So both sides will need to have
so it's end to end.
The app to be able to start the process of
so if you think of it as a string, so one part is where you put the money in, at the other end of the string, the person is a recipient, so they receive. So that is wonderful. Dean, it is one of those things where we work together and we look at how the community is handling business in terms of the foresight as to what's happening right now. And you have mentioned and you have put together quite a package of what people need to do in business and taking advantage of the situation right now. So in essence, do people need to sort of stop for a moment, stop prevaricating and just say, look, this is where we are. What are we going to do? Let's plan for the future. Yeah. And if we're planning for the future, how long in the future? Because right now, a lot of people only think of this month and maybe two to 3 months. So how do we plan? Do we look at long-term plans for legacy? Is that one of the key ingredients that people have to look for? We look at the long-term plans for legacy.
Well, I'll give you a clue. In 2017, I knew a financial tsunami was coming. I didn't know what form it was going to take. And as a byproduct of that, I connected myself very quickly to Sable Ascent and Daryl Speaks, where this was a development. It wasn't a finished article. It wasn't a coin. And I've introduced him to people on the continent with gold and diamonds, so you can tokenize the coin, and delivery partners to create certain entities. So I've been liaising with Daryl for 2.5 years. These things aren't for tomorrow. You have to have an ear for which way the wind is blowing and protect yourself. So for me, everything is based in self-preservation, which means you have to be educating yourself on a daily basis. I can't tell you how many videos we watch and listen to on a daily basis. We're continually educating ourselves about what the next 10 years hold, about what the next trends are going to be.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we're carrying them out today, but we're educating ourselves so that we can fall in line with that slipstream, because you can't beat the tide. The tide, if the tide goes from east to west, whether it's your dead body that's getting carried or whether you start swimming from east to west,
yeah,
but you're going to end up going from east to west.
yeah,
Mhm.
yes,
It behooves you to get in line with the stream. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be doing anything by force, because you can do it on your own merit. Now, if I desire to swim this way and the tide is going that way, I'm obligated to stay alive. When I reach dry land, I will get a cab. I will be alive.
yes, yeah.
Sometimes we try to fight the forces of currency, which are based on universal laws. And universal laws are that for a reason. A law is an absolute, it's not a request.
Yeah.
It cannot defy gravity.
Mm.
You go and land how you land. So you better prepare before you fall.
Yeah.
So the real
And
issue
even-
is to prepare for what comes your way. Because if you are not prepared, whatever comes, opportunities arise, it'll pass you by because you haven't prepared yourself for taking advantage of the opportunity. You know, it's a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing,"
Yeah.
but you haven't really prepared yourself for the opportunities that will come your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also as well, if you're going in the stream, right, there's certain things that you can't go against the stream. So there's
No.
certain legislation, there's certain things, there's certain laws that you cannot fight against. So you're just gonna have to educate
Wade yourself through
and
whatever.
wade yourself through that to get to the east.
Yes.
So you need, so to speak, to get to where you need to get to. Yeah.
One last question. Are we? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let us have a look. Right. So somebody said here that they would like to ask the do you offer programs that talk about networking in business for young people?
Absolutely. So I'm also the business development manager of Access UK, which is a youth employment and training charity, where we've designed the Road CEO, which is business acumen specifically for young people. So we've acquired a 2-year budget from Brent Council to deliver this to 200 young people in Brent. And we'll also be delivering through our brothers and sisters in WYLA, Manhood Academy, and Origin as well, which are what we donate, which we consider our tithes. But the Road CEO is also an app that we're building, which is a standalone app based on hundreds of hours of interviews with successful African diaspora men and women about every compartmentalized area of business. We also have a leadership training program called the Manage Program, which again, we have funding for 20 young men in Haringey that we'll be delivering as soon as COVID-19 protocols are over. And that is a pilot. So we are expecting a lot more funding to deliver this out in other boroughs after the pilot has been delivered with 20 young men. But those 20 young men will become an alumni of 10 who rely on each other as a community of leaders. And this goes across debating skills, public speaking skills. There's martial arts in there, Mashufa martial arts, and also Tai Chi meditation. So it's a very holistic program. We're seeking funding to follow that up with a 12-week program, which is unearthing of purpose for leaders. And then the final part is another 6 weeks. So the first part is 6 weeks, is a mastermind program so that we have fully rounded young leaders. And we call that succession plan because we're great in identifying men and women with tenacity that when they're gone, they're gone. Can't replace them. So what we have created is a structured leadership program for our young men and women, which is an ADPAC and Access UK collaboration. And please God, I hope it's in August, possibly in September, but whenever we get out, we're delivering both of those programs.
Both of that's brilliant. And then after that period of time, then is it a possibility that that could be stretched out across other boroughs?
Absolutely. And what my personal commitment is to those 20 young men
Right.
is that in the next incarnation and office that I'm opening, I'm going to take them for them to become the boiler room, and they will be there as an incubator where we surround them with mentors and then build out whatever the entities they desire to after the full training, unearthing their purpose and the networking. We're going to give them a house to be working from within with a boardroom and all of the tools that they need to raise revenue to start their businesses or wherever they go. If they work in local authority, we've trained them with an African lens to work for us. If you're in government, we've trained you with an African lens to work for us.
That is fabulous.
That's brilliant. And obviously, I mean, with any of the members listening now, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people saying, oh my goodness me, this is brilliant. I want to be a part of any one of those initiatives, Dean, that you're a part of.
We're not shy for delivery partners. Approach us.
But
so one thing I will do, I'll just give you my Access UK email as well.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
e.okai@accessuk.org.
Yeah.
So we are constantly looking for delivery partners, and this fits into our schools to industry pipeline so that we can create that wraparound care that our young people need in every single area that they need that protection and guidance.
Well, you know
brilliant.
What? To be honest, Dean, I would be happy to provide my skills in terms of mentoring with the young people. You know,
we need you, brother.
Yeah.
And any other, you know, qualified mentors out there, especially men. We do need our, you know,
we need our brothers
to
add in, to get in there, get involved. Yeah. Dean, this has been a wonderful evening, and what I can say is,
somebody's saying to me to repeat your email address again, Dean. But
repeat your email address.
I'm going to.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Sorry, somebody was phoning and interrupted the call.
Ah.
Okay. So it's D. OKAI.
Yeah.
At access ACCESS UK.org.
Yep. Okay.
UK.org. Yeah.
UK.org.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
We'll share that out. We've got a few people that are saying they're mentors as well.
So we'll send them over to you. If you you'll have to siphon out who can help and whatever. But if you're really interested, please, you can just send us a note and we will send over to Dean so that whatever is required can be done. Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you very much, Dean.
Thank you so much, Dean, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, obviously we've spoken for nearly an hour now, but I think what it shows everybody is you have to network and you have to collaborate, which is what you have done, and it's brought us to, you know, Stablecoin, Access UK, Road CEO, Access, you know what I mean, for the young people. So, guys, if that is telling you anything, that is what networking
is about.
Is about.
And next week we'll be on.
Yes, we're going to have a virtual PA coming on to talk about starting afresh, starting anew, and starting a business literally from scratch. Yeah.
So people.
And her name is Karen Ebanks, for KT Virtual PA, and she will be joining us next week at the same time again at 8 o'clock. To share her journey so far and obviously give some inspiration and her little nuggets of information that she can share.
So Dean, you could probably give her a call because virtual PA, you never know.
Definitely.
I think you need two of her. You might need two of her.
Or any other of her.
Thank you, family.
Okay, Dean, God bless you. Thank you very much, Dean.
And have
God bless you. I appreciate the platform.
Take
Great
care.
week.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Okay, guys, that was Dean with us today, and obviously next week we will be, as we said before, catching up with Miss Karen Ebanks, from KT Virtual PA, and she started up from fresh, and she'll be sharing exactly how she's gone about that. maybe the pitfalls or the inspiration way to continue and to carry on.
I think it's more about her learning curve,
And the learning curve of
because
business.
we've kept in touch with her, and the things that she's done, which she said she didn't know how to do,
Yeah.
and how she's got herself in a position where things are looking good and people are recognizing.
Yes.
I
those
mean,
skills.
I am seriously impressed. So
Yeah.
people, this, as we can say, is the moment in which, if there's an opportunity, if there's a thought,
Yeah.
try to turn it into what is a pleasure to do. Business does hurt if you don't do it correctly, but once you got it right,
It will
you
be good.
do not see yourself getting out of bed and thinking, oh my days, I've got to go to work and so on. When you get it right, you will bounce out of bed.
And it's from the heart. It's got to be something that you believe in fully, and
something
then
that you believe
take
in.
it from there. But anyway, we won't keep it much longer, okay? Because I think we've gone over a little bit. But we look forward to seeing you next week. Again, we'll be with Karen Ebanks from KT Virtual PA.
Yep. And that's on 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So
see you then, guys. Have a good week.
Stay blessed.
Bye now. Bye bye.